down for my money. Sipping bubbly, feeling lovely. Living lovely. Just love. I wanna be with you. 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 Just love. I'm on the way.
Hi guys, Charliah back in the hood and bring you some good. So today, I'm going to be talking about the 16-year-old artist me and the 23-year-old artist me and what differences there are being younger and being an artist and being me now as an adult and being an artist. Chapter 1. For context, recently, you know that I've graduated from college, but what you don't know recently is I started unarchiving or unprivating a lot of my old videos, which I privated because I was like, I'm embarrassed, like people see this and I was a different person then, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, let me actually go back and look and see if these are actually embarrassing. And I realized they're not. Yeah, they're a little cringe. I mean, there's a lot of cringe, but it's not embarrassing. I've learned that that's just a part of my journey and a part of who I was becoming as a, I guess, a YouTuber, as a vlogger, whatever, at the time. And that's just who I was. And I honestly had fun going back and watching those old videos, but I realized something. There's a key difference between that person and this person. And yes, we have a lot of similarities, but the main difference is that that person, I feel like, even though she wouldn't think so, was fearless in terms of art. At the time, I was going to an art school, high school, where I was a theater major. I mean, even before that, I was in middle school going to an arts middle school where we didn't have majors, but we still had the arts. And even just growing up doing projects like science projects or art projects and stuff like that, it really went into my creative bones. I was really able to flex myself as an artist, whereas now, or not now, but like these past 5 years of being at NYU, I was only able to flex my filmmaking muscle, which, yes, it has different parts. There's screenwriting, there's directing, there's acting, there's producing, there's so many different parts of it. It still didn't tap into every single one of the pieces of me as an artist, which I would somewhat consider myself a multi-hyphenate. But yeah, that's where the starting point is that I went to a performing arts high school in comparison to NYU, which is so massive, and there are so many different artists and different majors and stuff. And in film and TV, I think I mentioned previously in a video that there's not a lot of crossing over into other majors or meeting other people from different majors, including the arts. There's not a lot of crossover between arts majors in the Tisch program, unfortunately, where at my high school, we were constantly like roaming the halls with each other, constantly collaborating with each other. And I was lucky enough to have two friends that inspired me to continue, digging into my other creative ambitions outside of acting, outside of writing and stuff like that. I just felt more compelled to do more. So I'm trying to get back to that, is the point. I'm trying to get back to tapping into all of my creative ambitions or my creative talents, which I will list for you. And I'm not saying I'm professional in any of the talents because I'm still learning. I'm still on my just educational journey and just growing as an artist. But yes, film is one. Film is like the main one right now, is like filmmaking. And that sounds like I was irritated when I said that. It's just that film has been such a huge thing in my life that now like I want to tap into other things. Like I want to do film as well, but it's my main focus, but it's also, it's not fully me as an artist. There's also YouTube and I guess technically graphic design. I design the thumbnails. I used to do a lot of promo for my YouTube channel, which I don't do as much as I used to when I was in high school and I had more time. But yeah, before Canva, and shout out to you if you know this, because I don't think anyone does, but before Canva, there was PicMonkey. And PicMonkey, I used to use that. I used to love that. I used to love that website. But I think after a while, maybe it became where you had to pay. Then I got Canva, and then now you have to pay for Canva, premium, whatever, for certain things, which wasn't the case for a while, which sucks. So I'm looking forward to the next website that is completely free, even though I know that eventually that would become premium, whatever. Writing, weirdly enough, like when I was growing, not weird. When I was growing up, when I was really young, like in elementary school, I went from wanting to be a librarian because I really loved books growing up, to wanting to be a spy, to wanting to be a journalist because Roy Gilmore was a journalist, and Gilmore Girls. And eventually that became, I want to write novels. So when I was in middle school / like early high school, I wrote I would say a novella. I don't know how long it is. I wrote it like in a notebook. It's kind of similar. It's kind of a mix between Dork Diaries, Gilmore Girls, and I don't know what else, but there's a mystery element in it, or there's like a secret society situation in it. And it's probably not the best. If I read it now, I still have it. I've been I've been procrastinating typing it all out. At one point I was typing it out every day. I would set aside time to type it out, to transcribe it every day. And then I stopped at a certain point. Actually, maybe I did finish. I don't think I did though. I don't think I finished transcribing, but I still have the notebook. So it's still gonna happen at some point. I don't think I'll ever publish it. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe just on Wattpad or something for the kiddies, for kicks, whatever. But I really just wanted to be a novelist. Like in middle school, I was like, I'm going to write 3 novels when I get to high school. Yeah, I just wanted to be an author. I wanted to write. And I didn't think that I would ever get into What? No, that's not true. I did write a screenplay, a very short film. Or I had started to. Actually, no, that wasn't a short film. That was a play, musical, whatever. It had Bruno Mars in it. It was called like Prom Night or something like that, and it wasn't the best, but it was one of my first scripts. So shout out to, I think I was like 10, 11 when I wrote that. Crazy. And then I wrote another script in high school that also will never get made. That was like about an abusive relationship, and I just really love the song. I really love the song "Someone to Watch Over Me." I've heard not every version, but every version that I've heard has been so beautiful. I love that song, love it. But yeah, I wrote another script in high school, and outside of that, which I'll get to my next thing. Actually no. Before I get to that. I also wrote spoken word, poetry, and I still do, but I'm like, it's free writing now. Like, it's not really organized, nor is it performable. But in high school, I was performing spoken word pieces, which is crazy. My performing arts high school hosted a fashion show like every year. And I think I got to perform at 2 of them. One was a spoken word and one was a monologue. Spoken word was called Fee. It was like about just being a woman without men. I was big on that. I was like, there's no way. But meanwhile, I was having all these crushes. But that's a story for another day. The other thing I tapped into writing wise and performance wise was music. Growing up, I was always thinking of songs and thinking of lyrics and thinking of tunes, and I was always writing songs. And if you look way back into my YouTube post or whatever, you'll see that there's a few spread out. There's only one that I privated because I was like, there's no way. It's me rapping, and I'm not posting that. That's not happening. It's not happening. But the other song's pretty decent, still a little cringe, but decent. And I used to just read a lot of songs all the time. And in theater, we had these play cards where we had to read a play. We had to read 10 plays, and we had to analyze all of them, and we had to write fake song lyrics to all of them. And I enjoyed that. But now as an adult, it's like I barely hear lyrics in my head anymore, or I barely hear tunes in my head as much as I did before. And now I have to go online on YouTube. I feel like I've kind of crutched myself because now I have to go online on YouTube and find a track, and then I have to improv from there and like find my way with the lyrics. Whereas like before, I could just hear songs in my head and like bring me back to that. Bring me back to that, please. But yeah, I'd love to get back to that. When I was, I mean, now writing songs, I don't know, I'm just tapping into all of my arts, but there's stuff to be said about how I'm writing things now and how I was writing things before. The next thing is dance. As a theater kid, as someone, okay, so my dancing, when I was younger, when I was like in elementary school, probably like 6, 5, 7, whatever, I was doing ballet, and then kind of throughout elementary school, I was doing cheerleading, but I was afraid of heights, so I could never be on the pyramid, be at the bottom, not bottom. Yeah, no, I could never be at the bottom of the pyramid because I also was small. Like I was short. I mean, I'm short now, but I was short in elementary school, so I could never be the bottom. I could never be the actual pyramid. And I remember one time I was on a smaller pyramid and I fell, or they dropped me, and that scared me. I couldn't. But the point is, I did cheerleading, I did dance, and then in middle school, I took dance classes like at my middle school. And in high school, since I was a theater kid and since we had musicals, I would dance in those musicals when I was casted. I was only casted for one musical. One other musical I was casted for, but I dropped out, and that was my senior year. But I did learn the dances for that musical, so that was still cool before I dropped out. And I also had musical theater classes, so there was dance involved in that. And we even had an assignment once where we had to put on a performance. We had to do a lip sync. We had to imitate the artist of the song and put on like a full thing, and we were graded on performance. And we were also mixed into other people's performances for the lip syncing. And that was fun. But most of my dance experience is from musical theater and a tiny bit of like ballet. And I guess more recently, I took a few hip-hop classes at NYU, and those were fun too. But I want to get into dancing more. I played Just Dance growing up. I don't know if I count that as experience really, but I enjoy dancing, and I want to learn more choreography and get better at dancing and really tighten up. So that would be great, because I used to just love, like, oh my god, like I feel like I danced so much better when I was in high school than I do now, and that's just because of lack of practice. But if I get practiced again, my other art that I'd loosely like to tap into is drawing. I used to draw. I still have the ability to draw, but the only issue is like I have to look at something to draw something that looks great, or that looks good, looks whatever. So that was always my issue, was just like I couldn't freestyle a nice drawing, whereas like if I was looking at a reference, I could draw better. I don't know if I really want to tap into drawing like that. Maybe. It's nice. It's a good pastime. Like, it takes forever for me too. That was the other thing. It's just like, it just takes so much time, and I don't love it. So then there's that. My others, which are kind of obvious, but not really, are acting and modeling. Now, with modeling, not so much. But when I was in high school and I did model, like whether it was like with my friends taking photos of me or like being someone's model or whatever, like I just felt way less stressed about what I looked like. Whereas now I'm like, am I doing it? Am I doing it right? And I can't just clear my head the way I used to when I was in high school. Maybe it's just too much going on, which I will get into the differences. And acting, I feel actually more confident now than I did when I was in high school, because I was always comparing myself to the ones who would always get chosen and casted for lead roles. And now, because I don't have those comparisons, and now everyone's kind of overlapping and doing different things, I feel a little bit more at ease. I feel a little bit more confident in my acting abilities, and I enjoy it. So it's weirdly one of the only things that I'm like, oh, I'm actually a little less stressed when it comes to this in my adulthood versus my childhood. Another thing I'd like to clarify, okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty, to the big differences between then and between now. I guess, I don't know, like it felt somewhat like, it felt like big stakes doing things that were creative, like projects and classes and scenes and stuff like that. But like at the end of the day, it just felt like less stakes were involved when it came to my high school creative projects. You know what I mean? Like when I was in college, it was like, oh my God, everyone's watching. I'm at NYU. I should be good enough. It's a lot of, there's been a lot more, or it feels like there's been a lot more imposter syndrome as I've been in college in terms of just creating. In terms of being myself, it's been easier. But in terms of creating, it's just like everybody's creating. So who am I to think that I can do any better or do as equal a good job as them? When simply that's not the case. Like well, not all, but most of the people I've spoken to have also had imposter syndrome. So it's really just like, who cares? Like, just do your thing, let it be your thing and be done with it. But so much of my projects now, when being in college and even like out now, it's hard for me to write, to post on YouTube, to be creative and put it out there, because I feel like more eyes are watching and I feel like I'm being judged more because I'm 23 as an artist and I feel like more of a perfectionist. Whereas when I was in high school, the only eyes on me were the people in my high school, and my high school was small. So it just really didn't matter as much. Okay, another big difference in high school was that there wasn't a lot of social media. Yes, Instagram was there, Snapchat was there, YouTube was there, all of these different things were there. TikTok had just started, I think maybe end of high school. I don't really remember, but I just remember it wasn't that big. We had Musical.ly in middle school. Like it wasn't that big of a deal as it is now. Now you have TikTok, you have Instagram, there is Facebook, but who cares about Facebook? There's YouTube, there's Snapchat, but who cares about Snapchat? But Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, like, is so different now. Everybody's using it, everybody's doom scrolling. I'm doom scrolling more than I did when I was a kid. I used to read more, guys. I used to read more. I used to touch grass, and I'm not even touching grass like that. Like I am, but I'm not touching grass like that. And I used to daydream about random stuff. I used to daydream like full-on music videos. I used to daydream different scenes, and I still daydream now, but sometimes I'm daydreaming about the anxiety of a future where I'm struggling, or where my art isn't that good, or I'm still working the same job, whatever job that is. It's not the same. It's just not. And I want to get back to where I used to be able to daydream. I used to be able to be free. I used to be able to think for myself. I used to be able to just follow the passion. And I feel like now I'm kind of following the financial stability, and that's great. That's awesome. I need that, but also I miss just being free to put my hands in the clay and just make whatever I wanted. I literally, bro. In middle school, I actually did get clay. I was interested in sculpting because I love Wallace and Gromit. I love Chicken Run. Chicken Run was my favorite movie as a kid, and I just was like, oh, I can make my own sculptures. I can do stop motion. Like, it's gonna be so. But me as an adult, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking, oh, I was a film major. I have to make my next short film, or people are just gonna forget about me. And then what? Nothing. Because I'm 23 years old. And then people are like, oh, you're so young. Yes, I know. But it sure does not feel like that when I can look at my 16-year-old self and be like, what? Huh? That felt like, okay, it didn't feel like yesterday that I was 16. It didn't feel like that. But it's just crazy how fast time goes. And people told me how fast time goes. I was like, whatever, I just want to be done with high school, please. So I say all this to say is that I blame capitalism. Yes, because when I was in high school, I didn't have to worry about this. I didn't have to worry about paying bills. I didn't have to worry about making ends meet. I didn't have to worry about food, and I didn't have to worry about supporting whatever music video or short film or whatever I was creating. I didn't have to worry about money. I blame climbing the ladder. I blame trying to get a job, which has been slightly easier. Slightly not easier, but it's been a journey, but we're getting there. And that'll reveal at a later time. But I'm trying to fathom the freedom that I had when I was a kid, especially the daydreaming. I was a big daydreamer growing up. I used to always have something on my mind, something that I could write, something I could picture, something I could draw out, something I could sculpt, whatever. And now it just feels like, or it feels like I've been limiting myself. It feels like I've gotten way more timid of messing up, of people judging me, of saying the wrong thing, of doing the wrong thing, of showcasing the wrong thing, of people thinking, oh, that's mediocre. How did she even get into NYU, whatever? How'd she graduate from there? And I think there are solutions. There are solutions to this problem, which I would like to take. Feel free in the comment section to also have your own solutions. Here are mine. Oh, before I get into the solutions, I will say that all of my work from now or from the past, college years, whatever, in comparison to my old work, one thing that has stayed consistent is the emotions throughout my work. I am very honest. I'm very transparent when it comes to making things and to telling stories. I will say that I feel like I was less emotionally attached to my work back then, like before my senior and junior year of high school. Like I feel like I was just making stuff up. I was just doing stuff, or just, I mean, no, actually, maybe not. Maybe I was still like emotionally invested in my work, but it just feels, because of the more stakes thing, that it's more revealing now. Now my solutions. Trying to get back to my freedom as a creative. It's finding the fearlessness, this is so cliche, but just not being afraid, or trying not to be afraid of making a mistake. And when I do, posting it anyway. If it's cringe, whatever, just doing it. I think that's the big thing. Just doing it, just jumping into it, just posting it, just getting it out there, and not for such and such to see, not for anyone to be like, wow, like what a person, wow, she's so something. No, just getting it out there, not trying to think of what other people will think about it. Disconnecting. I want to start disconnecting from my phone, from Instagram, from TikTok, from all of the blah, 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 blah. Because I can't daydream if I'm scrolling. I can't daydream if I'm looking at reels. Reels? For what? Touching grass. Posting what's cringe. Breaking restrictions and routines. So I do have like my routine. Wake up, I journal, I play guitar, I exercise. But I want to start not breaking that morning routine necessarily, but starting to integrate more of like, oh, maybe I want to read more, or maybe I want to write in my mornings, or write at a certain time of the day for however long, like starting to push more into my day-to-day spaces where I can be creative, or spaces where I can be in a different world that's not with my screen. Claiming my multi-hyphenate a little more. I think because I've been more of a perfectionist lately, and because I graduated with a film and TV degree, I've been more hesitant to mention like, oh, hey, I do make songs, I do write lyrics, or I am interested in dance, I am interested in modeling, I am interested in acting, like I am interested in more than just film and TV. And so just claiming myself as an artist who is a multi-hyphenate and not just the filmmaker. And I think that also comes with me branding myself as that. Like I feel like I have been, just like even with my website. Oh my God, I used to do photography for a little bit during the pandemic, which is crazy. That was another thing. But starting to advertise myself as Lauryncharliah, the artist, or Lauryncharliah, the multi-hyphenate, Lauryncharliah, the creative whatever, instead of Lauryn Charliah, the filmmaker, Lauryn Charliah, the producer, Lauryn Charliah, the aspiring showrunner, Lauryn Charliah, the screenwriter, whatever. Just stepping outside of the bubble that I kind of put myself in and that I've allowed others to also put me in, because it's also like, I mean, yes, like it starts with me, but also starting to meet people that are outside of my bubble and tap into other arts that I'm interested in with other people. So hopefully you got something out of this video. I mean, maybe at the end I'll like put an old clip from like one of my older videos, whatever. But the whole goal here is to become more free. The whole point of getting into the arts was not to be like, I'm trying to climb the ladder, I'm trying to make my movie with NBC, which would be great. But that was not the point. That was not why we got here. This is not the main purpose of my existence. I feel like my purpose as an artist is to create all pieces of work, not just film, not just television. And also, oh my God, I wrote a play in high school. I want to get back to her, not completely, because I feel like I've grown as a person from that 16-year-old person, but growing myself as an artist and getting back to that freedom that she had is so important to me. I don't know if you other people who are watching this feel the same way, but if you do, I'd encourage the same thing. Just try to get back into that freedom, try to get back into that realm, to that free space. Man, because I feel like it's so needed, especially in this time, in this day and age. Freedom is everything. Shout out to 16-year-old me for showing me that there can be freedom in art and that it doesn't have to be so perfect all the time. And oh my God, I just randomly got a flashback moment quick. Back in middle school, in the 6th grade, I had this math class. I put together the most cringe math project ever. It was like a stage, because I wanted to do like puppetry. It was a stage, and the puppets were on my fingers, and the puppets were Cyberchase characters. And I was trying to teach a lesson with Cyberchase characters in a puppet thing. And I whistled the theme song before I started playing the characters. And honestly, like as I was running through the lines, I really don't even, that was one of the most cringe moments. I have so many moments like that because I was free. And yes, was it cringe afterwards? Did I suffer the embarrassment? Yes, I did. But was it worth it? Yes. So, gotta get back to that. So, peace out. For those of you who, I don't know if anyone watches my channel that is in school right now, but if you are watching my channel and you're in school right now, don't be a fool of school because it's not cool. And summer is starting to cool off. Enjoy it. Enjoy the fall that is coming. The fall is leaving. The leaves are falling. The leaves eventually. The fall is coming, you guys. The fall is coming. That means sweaters. That means hoodies. That means Timberlands. That means the good clothes. And also means Halloween's coming and Thanksgiving's coming and all the other amazing holidays. Like, it's about to be a good time. So enjoy that. The leaves are gonna be so pretty and they're gonna be falling everywhere and you're just gonna be in it. So enjoy it. As always, love you guys. And let me know in the comments. Oh, please like, please subscribe, please comment down below what you think of your younger self and your current self, and how are those two different artists or two different people, how are those two different people, what are their differences? What are the differences between those two people? And if you have any other solutions to me finding my freedom as an artist, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts, or let me know directly, whatever. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Hey, Lauren, you wanna go to the movies?
No, I'm alone. Go away.